Hi there. If you're familiar with software development, you may have heard of the impossible triangle. That is, if you want the development to be fast and cheap, you won't be good. And if you want the development to be fast and good, you won't be cheap. You will never get those three at the same time. My name is Michael, the CEO of Foldda. In this video, I will introduce the Foldda modular development framework, which is a unique way of developing software super fast and low cost. So to break the impossible triangle, I will first explain the Foldda's concept, what it is, how does it work. Then we'll run a demo to show you how to build and run Foldda apps. But before we do that, let's talk about other companies' attempt and their drawbacks. There are many so-called no-code software development solutions trying to reduce the complexity of the development. Basically, these solutions let you to build software using pre-made modules and saving you from the hassle of programming. But these no-code solutions also have many drawbacks. The first is the modules are vendor dependent, meaning modules from vendor A cannot be used with vendor B. Also, the development required vendor-dependent specialized tools, namely the IDEs. Training to use these tools can be expensive and takes a lot of time. Once you're committed to one vendor's product, you are locked in by whatever is offered. So if a module uh, doesn't meet your requirement, you're stuffed. You cannot make changes, or otherwise it's very expensive. So in the end, these solutions are still require significant amount of time to learn, still expensive because you cannot use other vendors' cheaper solution, you're locked in, and inflexible to make any changes. Foldda's approach of modular software development is very unique and doesn't have these drawbacks. In Foldda, app modules are packaged as file system folders, where each folder contains the instruction and resources required for executing the module's function. Foldda uses folders hierarchy to work out the processing sequence of modules and arrange the input-output data flow. So a folder is simply a stack of special file system folders. A building and folder app does not require any special tools. Just use the normal file system drag and drop operations to arrange the folders sequence. To run a folder app, you need a runtime program to work out what needs to be executed based on a module's content and pass the input and output between the modules according to the module hierarchy. Let's take a closer look of example of such module. This module we look at is called a daily timer, which has a function of firing events during certain times of a day. In this case, the content of the folder is a text file called folder.config. Every folder module has this file, and it has a very specific format. Let's look at the content on the right-hand side. It tells the runtime when you launch this module, look for a class called trigger.dailytimer, which will be sitting in a file called trigger.dll. Once you located this DLL in the class, run it. When you run it, provide the class with these parameters. In this case, the three triggering time, which will be 7 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Also, it says don't run this timer on the weekends. So this is how a typical folder module look like, and how it works by interacting with a runtime to get itself executed in the computer environment. In Folder, you have many ways to arrange a program's data flow structure by arranging the folder's hierarchy, right? So you on the left-hand side at the top, you can see um, three steps in the program. Maybe have three tasks running sequentially. On the right-hand side of the top, you have same three tasks, but you can run task B and C in parallel after task A has finished. So, um, so when we build a folder app, basically we use a simple file system, drag and drop, cut and paste operations to form such a hierarchy, and we don't need to use any software to do this. This is in contrast to all the other software development environment out there. You have to use an IDE, uh, install the IDE on the PC to in order to make any changes. But for Folder, you can make an app anywhere from a USB, from anywhere. Now we have good understanding of the concept of Folder. We can actually uh, see how it's in action. We're gonna build two demo programs and actually run them to see them in action. The first program is a is a is a timer-driven command runner. Uh, so we have in the middle here we have a module that is capable to run a DOS command. In this case, we configure it to run a dir command, which listing a content of the of a directory, and this module is triggered by a timer. The timer, this is not a daily timer, it's a period timer, files every 5 seconds, which triggers the DOS command to run 5 seconds every 5 seconds. And then the last bit is the send email module, which receives the output of the DOS command and then sends whatever the output we received to an email client. Let's do this building this program. See how easy or how hard it is. So I have a folder, have three modules uh, pre-configured. One for running the timer, one for the DOS command, one for the sending email. So according to this order, we're going to put the send email last after the run DOS command, and then we have the run DOS command after the second timer. So seconds timer. So the second timer runs every 5 seconds, by the way. So once we build our program, we need to deploy them to a runtime. So this is the runtime program look like. Uh, all we need to do is drag the hierarchy we built to here. So as you see, the runtime automatically works out the order of the execution. You know, it's going to run uh, the seconds timer followed by the DOS command and then send email at the last. And for each of the module, you can see they have different configurations. For run the command, we're going to run the dir command here. And for sending email, we're going to send to certain recipients using certain email configurations, SMTP server address, and so on. And then for the timer, it will trigger every 5 seconds. But to verify this program to work, we need to launch an email client, so which receives whatever been sent out by our folder app. So the email client is here. Currently, it has nothing in there. So, but if we start running the program, when we start, the dots will turn green, means it's executing, and we know after 5 seconds, the first email will be triggered and sent. So yes, it's 5 seconds now. So you can see one email has been sent out, and if you look at the command, it's having the listing of the folder content. So now if we refresh our inbox, you can see emails start coming in. So we have few emails already. I better stop the solution just now, otherwise my email inbox will be filled up with many junk emails, the testing emails. But if you look at the content of the email received, it has a listing of the dir command. Okay, so that's our first demo. The second demo is a network forwarding app. So we have a listener module listening to a network port, and for whatever data it receives, it will forward it to two destinations. So for that, we put two sender modules to accept the received data from the receiver module, like that. Okay, so if we go back to our designing board, we are going to form a hierarchy as one parent with two children, one in, two out. So we do it like that, right? And once again, we just deploy that to the runtime like that. So we have two solutions. One is the timer auth run, auth command runner, and we have they're running in the same runtime at the moment, but they're doing two different things. So let's check out this network forwarding program. For us to verify it work, we need to have a little bit setup. We have a client to send the data in. This is the message sender. We send to port 1235, and then we need to have two receivers, one and two, that listen to the output port 1236, 1237. So that's how it works. So let's start our program. Now, if we start sending data to this inbound port, you can see the 16 messages coming in. You can see that responding to the receiving. But when it comes to the output, because we haven't started the listening port, we'll get some sort of error in output, right? But once we start listening, you'll see the data coming in, and same as the other receiver. So that means this second solution also worked. So we just simply form the hierarchy, turn it on. Of course, we need to configure the port numbers according to our requirement, but that's pretty straightforward and pretty easy. What's really cool about Foldda is that all the API that connects all the modules to get them to work together, as well as those modules developed by us, are open source. So I'll show you the email sender program right here, and then the DOS command runner program right here, right? So they're designed to be flexible, but for for whatever reason it doesn't meet your requirement. For example, uh, if you want the email sender to write the content to a file before sending out the email, what you can do is to check out the email sender source code from here, locate the line that it sends the email, and just before that you can write a few lines saying, okay, write content to file, whatever you like to do. And then you compile that program to back to its DLL, and then you'll work with your special requirements added in. And that's really powerful because um, now you have the flexibility to make your own modules, to do your own work, without have to get permissions from us. You can just do it like that. Now, how do you feel? I mean, we have done the introduction, we've shown you the demo, we also tell you what can be done. We're using the source code and the open source uh, uh, modules. Um, Definitely, you can build the app really fast, right? So without having to do anything, you just drag and drop in seconds. You have already launched a relatively useful program too. Um, and we don't use any tools. We didn't have to install anything. In fact, you can carry folder in a USB key with you. You can just go anywhere, plug it in, build your app, and run it from there. There's no problem. It is designed to do that. Uh, Once again, because you can modify and build DLLs, set up your own modules, it means our module can work with your module together, right? So, and then the open source allows anything, give you a lot of freedom to add new features, and so on. So you, at the end, you have very flexible yet very productive tools in your hand. I hope you have a good idea and have some confidence in terms of understanding how Foldda works. Um, but there are more to talk about. I would like to develop a separate video talk about the Foldda framework API, where how internally the modules are hooked up together, exchanging data, and so on. I would like to have another separate video talk about folder runtime UI. So I show you how to start stop folder app. I, they have also seen some logins and so on, but there are other elements I haven't got time to explain in this video. So there will be a separate video talk about that. Um, I've explained the configuration about the daily timer, but we also see actions about the email sender and DOS command runner. There are other modules which can be quite interesting for making interesting solutions. Like we have a database reader and writer, we have FTP downloader, um, and we have message filters, and so on and so forth. So I can talk about that in a separate video, maybe based on the solutions we can mock up some solutions and talk about that. Uh, and then, as I say, it's really powerful feature that you can build your own folder modules without restriction or from the vendor or permissions from the vendor, right? So, so I want to write a tutorial. So hold your hands, go through, um, check out the data, check out the source code from GitHub. We build a module together to show you how the customization can be done. Yeah, this is just a lot of interesting topic. I'm sure I really want to talk more about it. And then before we end this video, there's a few things you can do. Go to Foldda.com to download the runtime and as well as the example solutions. Uh, there's no restrictions. There's no credit card or registration required. Just download the thing. You don't have to install anything. You can run it from your desktop. It's gonna be fun. Um, Check out the GitHub repo if you want to have a peek, understand how things work internally. Maybe give us some feedback if you have some more suggestions. Subscribe to our newsletter and YouTube channel. As I say, there's more videos I really like to build. There could be more modules being built down the track. Every time you have more new modules added to the repository, the possibility of building apps just multiplies. So it's be quite exciting to see Foldda as current it is as a starting point and how far it will go. So stay tuned with our newsletter and then YouTube's, and also follow us on Twitter, um, where we can interact. You can discuss different topics. Yeah, and tell us the other people how do you feel like it. Yeah, so yeah, that's the end of the video. Once again, thank you for watching and stay tuned. Bye for now.